it's amazing. You walk into the stallion yard here, and I've been coming up here for, you know, very long time. You walk past the graveyard there of the great horses. I've seen so many of the great stallions that stand at Darley in this yard when they've retired off the course, and so come back and see a horse that you've bought standing here. Yeah, it's you know, great amount of pride, and I know that Sheikh Rashid, you know, obviously to have a horse standing at Sheikh Mohammed's stud, it's just given him a huge amount of pleasure. So yeah, great amount of pride. It's nice to see him.
What do you remember from our dad's breeze?
Yeah, our dad, they actually breezed in a fairly similar way. I'd say this horse was a little bit more green in his breeze. He started up the middle of the track and just drifted left. Our dad went fairly gun barrel straight, and but there was a big similarity in how they looked and in their attitudes. I think that's the key thing with breeze ups. It's a huge test of how a horse can handle it. And both this horse and his father came out and paraded up and down and never turned a hair. And I think that's where the big similarity lies. And I think that's what we're seeing in their progeny as well.
And what do you remember from buying Perfect Power? Do you remember the lot itself?
Very much. I can remember. Yeah, I remember the breeze, and I remember being extremely impressed. And I also remember that you know, Sheikh Rashid was straight on, and like we both, again, you know, we both sort of angled in on the same horse immediately, and again, that's usually a good sign. And you know, we were, you know, as usual, he was willing to sort of go along with it and you know, put his own money on the line, and I'm just so pleased for him that he gave him, you know, gave him obviously 3 Group 1 wins. I mean, these horses are very hard to come across. So yeah, it was a great breeze, and as I say, he did a phenomenal show up there, and yeah, the rest is history.
2-year-olds on the ground now. What have you noticed from them sort of through foals, yearlings, and now as 2-year-olds?
Look, he's a very good looking, obviously I'm biased, but he is a very good looking colt himself, and I think he's passing that on. They were beautifully balanced, good moving for sprinters. Like, you know, a lot of sprinters aren't the most, you know, they're not the most fluid movers of, say, the mile and a quarter, mile and a half horses. This horse has great movement, as does his father, and I think that is coming through. But the shape and balance of them, but again, I still go back to the attitude. Like, it's just so important, and that's definitely coming through. I looked at pretty much all of his yearlings, and they just came out, stood up, walked up and down, and you know, that's going to stand them in good stead if they get to the top races.